Hey everybody, it's Anna and welcome back to my booktube channel. This video is brought to you by the fact that just as winter's dreary gloom was beginning to end, coronavirus has struck the Seattle area, so I am sort of bunkering down a bit in my house, avoiding going out unnecessarily, which, let's be honest, is exactly what I would be doing anyway, virus or not. But I do have some people to thank because I have some wonderful friends that got me beautiful gifts off of my Amazon wish list for my birthday this year. And I'm just going to say it, y'all are like making my day when it comes to having to stay inside and read all day, because I now have a big old stack of books that I am ready to get to. So I want to go ahead and thank Rachel Marie from Rachel Marie's Book Journey for sending me The Miraculous by Jess Redman. This is a middle grade book, and I want to just read you the synopsis because it sounds super, super delightful. 11-year-old Wonder Ellis is a miracologist. In a journal he calls The Miraculous, he records stories of the inexplicable and the extraordinary, and he believes every single one. But when his newborn sister dies at only 8 days old, Wonder gets rid of the miraculous. He stops believing. Then he meets Faye, a cape-wearing, outspoken girl with losses of her own. Together, they find an abandoned house by the cemetery and a mysterious old woman who just might be a witch. The old woman asks for their help. She asks them to go through graveyards and forests, to town halls and police stations by bicycle and by train. She asks them to believe. And so they begin a journey that leads to friendship, to adventure, to healing, and to miracles. This sounds really good. I am getting major Bridge of Terabithia vibes from it. I know that I'm probably going to cry while I'm reading this book, but thank you so much, Rachel, for sending this to me. You are such a sweetheart, and your note was amazing. Made me all misty-eyed and tear up, too. Then I also got a comic book from my friend Dahlia, which is the Unstoppable Wasp Girl Power, which is the last of the Wasp comics that I actually didn't have. So thank you very much, Dahlia. So the Wasp, at least the Unstoppable Wasp, is the daughter of Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, who are Ant-Man and another Wasp, just not the Unstoppable Wasp. She's also the product of the Red Room, which is the sort of like secret Russian training facility that characters like Black Widow and the Winter Soldier were basically created at, but she's part of their like secret experimentations with young girls. So her story just kind of follows after she like gets out of the bunker and gets out of this really structured environment and is finally able to use her powers and her smarts for the kind of things that she thinks will better affect change in the world and do good in the world. So she does in the comic series that I do have, she creates like an Agents of Girl, which is kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's a bunch of other girls that are like scientists, and some of them have superpowers and some of them don't. I love this series because it's diverse, it's like racially diverse, there's LGBTQ representation, and there's representation of a range of disabilities. There's a character that is an ambulatory wheelchair user that is part of the hero team. Sometimes she uses a chair and sometimes she uses the like forearm crutches. There are Nadia, who's our main character, the Wasp. She also has bipolar, so there's an entire arc in the comic book series that's basically about her getting diagnosed with bipolar and figuring out like what that means for her and what kind of, you know, support system she wants to build with her friends and what kind of things that she needs to do to better like be able to take care of herself when she's going through a flare with her bipolar. And I just really love this series. It makes me smile so much. I love reading books where girls just get to be awesome and kick butt. So thank you so much, Dahlia, for sending this to me. Then I got this huge package from my friend Erin, who is my co-host for the Disability Readathon. And this surprised me because I was just like, I don't remember ordering anything. What? And it was this huge package of 3 books that we're gonna like buddy read together and stuff. And it's gonna be super great. So I will go ahead and start with let's start with the longest one and then we'll go down to the shortest one. Oh my goodness, the light is going nuts out here. So we have Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America by Ibram X. Kendi. This is a winner of the National Book Award, as you can probably tell from this little seal on the cover. And I was fortunate enough that when I was still in graduate school, I got to hear Dr. Kendi speak at my university. He was going on his book tour to promote this book, and I knew I really wanted to read it. That also coincided with when I ended up moving across the country to Seattle, so I ended up never picking it up because there was just a lot of life going on, and this is quite a long book, as you can see. So I was not ready to sit down and begin reading an over 500-page book while I was moving. But Erin says that she already has this book, so we're going to do a buddy read of it together. I think the subtitle kind of tells you everything that you need to know about this book, but basically this is the definitive work on where racism in America and anti-Blackness in America comes from. And Ibram X. Kendi has also written a book that's called How to Be an Anti-Racist that is much shorter, so if you're interested in the topic and interested in his writing, which is phenomenal, by the way, but you're not ready to commit to a 500-plus page book, you might want to check that out. So thank you, Erin, for giving me some good quality nonfiction. Speaking of good quality nonfiction, she also sent me this gorgeous beauty. It's called Infused Adventures in Tea by Henrietta Lovell. I love the way that this cover just shimmers. It is so gorgeous. This caught my eye in the bookstore because it's beautiful, but also because it's about tea, and it's about the author, Henrietta Lovell, who is this woman who's on a mission to revolutionize the way that people think about drinking tea. She wants to encourage the world to move away from the pre-processed tea bags that basically, I don't know how many people know this, but tea bags aren't like actual tea leaves. They're basically like what's left over after tea leaves get processed. So they're not as potent or as flavorful as actual tea leaves. Anyone who's ever had like loose leaf tea or a sachet of loose leaf tea as compared to like a typical grocery store tea bag can tell you there's just a flavor that you miss out on if you're not drinking it with the loose leaves. So she is basically traveling around the world with trying to learn as much as she can about tea production and tea processing, and it's a bit of a memoir as well, like her story of how she's changed as a person because of her relationship with the world's most popular beverage. Erin and I both love tea a lot. We talk about tea a lot, and so she was like, oh, our shared love of tea inspired me to get this one for you, and I was like, thanks. I really appreciate that. And then this final one is a book that I have been wanting to read for a long time, and that is called Roll With It by Jamie Sumner. So Erin's note in this said, yay for disability rep. And this is about a girl named Ellie who uses a wheelchair, and she has CP, and she really wants to be a baker. And this is basically her story about wanting to follow her dream of becoming a baker, while the sort of typical things that begin to happen to you when you are in like late elementary, middle school, etc., beginning to take over. Her family's undergoing some changes. Her elderly grandpa comes to move in with them, and she has to change schools, and like it's all about her wanting to follow her dreams despite like all those kind of typical adjustment things that you go through as a kid, but how come it's different for her as a disabled kid and a kid with big, big dreams. And this just looks great. I know that if you've been watching my Geekly Wrap-Ups, you know that I've been really on a middle grade kick lately. I've really been enjoying reading comics and fiction that's written for a younger audience, just because, I don't know, like there's something comforting about it. There's something comforting about, as an adult, being able to look back and read a middle grade story and be like, I still do remember when like the problems that those kids are trying to solve in the book seemed like the biggest thing in the world. And sometimes it is, like in the Tamora Pierce books, sometimes they literally do have to save the world. So once again, thank you so much to Rachel, Dahlia, and Erin for your lovely birthday gifts. I appreciate them so much, and who knows, depending on whether we are allowed to leave our homes or not because of this virus, I may actually get all of these read in this month. So if you're interested in checking out any of their work, I will go ahead and link. Rachel and Aaron both have YouTube channels, so I'll link those. And Dahlia is a super amazing avid cosplayer, so I will link their Instagram and their portfolio and stuff down below as well. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more of what I do, please do go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because that is the best way to get updates whenever I post a new video. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!